morning, good morning. Welcome to another edition of Chopping It Up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat. Hey, listen, man, I hope everybody had a great weekend, man. I hope your weekend was fulfilled with everything you was looking for, whether it was rest or fun or just for family, whatever it might be, man. But it was a big weekend in sports, man, especially in the NFL, man. So let's get right to it, man. Man, I often kid this team a lot, man. This is the team in my backyard, the Atlanta Falcons, man. And I gotta tell you, man, of all the games that I watched this week, I gotta say that I was mostly impressed by the Atlanta Falcons this weekend, man. They go out to Los Angeles, take a road trip, go into an environment that they haven't been in ever, or in a long time, I should say, and they down two receivers, their top receivers, maybe their top two receivers, and Julio Jones and Sanu, and they just put a butt whipping on the Los Angeles Rams, man. I mean, you know my motto, man. Stars need to play like stars when stars need to be stars, and that's just what Matt Ryan did yesterday. I mean, they walloped the Los Angeles Rams. The defense got into it as well. I mean, just a great game, a great effort by Atlanta, and it was a must-win game. Because as I told you, man, Tampa Bay had won 4 in a row. They was on their tails. Matter of fact, instead of being in the rearview mirror, they were riding side by side with the tie for the division. So it was a must-win game, especially when you're playing an opponent that you should win. You know, and sometimes these games can be trap games, man. You can get out there, road trip, down a few players. Yeah, you can put your head down. But you know what? Matt Ryan, he rallied the troops. He led the troops. And what a victory that was. I have to give Atlanta Falcons a lot of credit this morning, man. That was a good win. And you know what? Some people might say, well, it's the Los Angeles Rams. Well, you know what? I don't buy that. Because those are pro athletes, man. They were in Los Angeles. They had home field. You're down a few guys, Pro Bowl guys, and Julio Jones, you know, one of the top 3 receivers in the game, if not number 1, you know. So easily, Atlanta could have screwed this up, but they didn't. And I got to give credit where credit is due. Great job by Matt Ryan. And again, as I said, it was a must-win game because, again, Tampa Bay is on their tail. And speaking of Tampa Bay, they played New Orleans. Tampa Bay, one of the hottest teams in football, going for their 5th straight, trying to keep pace with the Atlanta Falcons. And they did. They won a squeaker. You know, it wasn't the prettiest of games. It wasn't one of those very high-scoring games, anything like that. But it was efficient and was enough to have the win. 5-game winning streak. They haven't had a winning streak this long since the 2002 or 2003 season. Matter of fact, it was the year that they won the Super Bowl. So it was the 2002-2003 season. So, I mean, kudos to Tampa Bay. It is a team on the rise. They're playing some good ball. Jameis Winston is a tremendous leader over there. They're getting maximum production from everywhere and everybody. They keep pace with the Falcons for that lead. Both teams are now 8-5. You know, so kudos to Tampa Bay for keeping pace and keeping their winning streak alive, man. That's why you got to play the games, man. You just got to play the games because you never know what's going to happen, man. I mean, like I said a couple of weeks ago, who saw the Tampa Bay coming out of nowhere? They're 8-5 now. 5 weeks ago, they were 3-5. 3-5. And Falcons was comfortable. They were comfortable. Remember, the Falcons came out the gate 4-1, 4-2, 4-1. And then they lost 2 in a row. They went to 4-3. Then they won 2 in a row. They was 5-3. So when they started this winning streak at 3-5, the Falcons was 5-3, looking comfortable in the division. No one saw this 5-game winning streak coming, man. So kudos to Tampa Bay getting the job done, man. Getting the job done. Around the league, there were some other big games out there, man. I can't believe that the Tennessee Titans pulled off the upset against the Denver Broncos, man. What a game for them, man. Very exciting win. This is a young ball club, at least led by a young quarterback in Mariota. They keep pace with Houston as Houston knocks off Indianapolis. So the two of them, Houston and Tennessee, are still tied for the first place. So what a win that was. I'm a little surprised to see Denver get beat by Tennessee, but again, this is why you got to play the games. So with Denver losing, Miami had a chance to keep their playoff hopes alive or keep themselves relevant. And what do? They go ahead and beat Arizona. This is a team that had won 6 in a row until last week when they ran into a buzzsaw and Baltimore Ravens. But then they go back to their winning ways. So, hey, they won 6 of their last 7. And right now, I believe they may be ahead of Denver in that wild card race for that second wild card race. So keep an eye on Miami. They are actually playing good ball. But one note to report, I believe Tannehill is going to be out with a torn ACL. So that's something to keep an eye on, a torn ACL. So I don't know if the backup quarterback could come in and keep up some of the winning ways that Miami has had this season. So keep an eye on Miami. That anytime you lose your starting quarterback, that could be tough. So moving right along, there was other games and other action, but I'd be remiss if I didn't get to last night's game, man. What a smash-mouth football game that was over at MetLife Stadium between the Giants and the Cowboys. I mean, the Giants was victorious in this game. It was a 10-7 win. It wasn't the prettiest of wins. It wasn't the prettiest of games. But nevertheless, it was a win that they needed to have, and they pulled through with it. What a win it was. I got to give them a lot of credit. They hung in that cold weather. They made that one play that they needed to play, a 61-yard pass reception for a touchdown for Odell Beckham. Once he gets a little space on somebody, man, you're not catching that guy, man. But this was a game that Dak Prescott probably wants to forget, man. In his young career, it probably was his worst game ever. He was 17 for 37. He did manage to throw a touchdown, but he did throw 2 interceptions. The first interception kind of wasn't his fault. Des Bryant fell out on a play, kind of gave free rein to the defender. So, he got picked off. But then that second one he threw, that one was all his, man. I'm not sure what he was doing. He went for the bomb, and it got picked off. And like I said, it was a bad night for Dak Prescott. This is the second game in a row. He didn't look quite like the Rookie of the Year or the MVP candidate that I have him. But I'm hoping that let me ask you guys, do you think he's hit a rookie wall? Do you think that this is going to be part of the maturation? I mean, this is his first 2-game interception, first streak of 2 games in a row where it wasn't Dak Prescott-like. Do you think that maybe he's hit a rookie wall? I tell you the truth, I believe in Dak. Maybe the weather has something to do with it. Maybe he's gone, and this is the longest he's gone into a season. Remember, in college, by this time, 10, 11 games, season is over. So let's keep an eye on that. Ezekiel Elliott, he was still impressive. He rushed for over 100 yards. If there was a bright spot on the offense, it was definitely Elliott. He proved that he still should be considered for Rookie of the Year and possibly MVP. So the Cowboys' winning streak comes to the end at 11 as the Giants sweep this series with the Cowboys. Like I said, I thought the Giants would win. One thing about Eli, played some of his best games against Dallas, but this wasn't an Eli win. I mean, Eli wasn't that great as well, man. I mean, he threw some passes he wished he could have got back. It just so happened they got that one play and plus a field goal just to come out victorious, man. But it was a smash-mouth game. It was a defensive game. There were some hits. I saw some hits on Eli that I'm surprised he even got up. Dak was sacked 3 times. He was pressured a lot during the game. It was definitely some good old-fashioned football there, man. Some good old-fashioned football. I'm not sure if the referee made a difference in these games or not, but it was just some good football, man. So we'll probably talk about this more during out the week, man, but the 11-game winning streak of the Dallas Cowboys come to an end. If Michael Irvin has his wish, he wanted the loss to get it out the way so that now they can just go into the playoffs and focus. Hey, Well, here's your loss. Let's see what happens. My question is this, and we're probably going to hear a lot of this for the leading up to next game. Is this the game that puts Tony Romo in the bullpen and start warming up? Is this the game that Jerry Jones calls down and says to Jason Garrett, I want my guy in there next week? We're going to see. I'm sure Jerry Jones is going to have something to say throughout this week. I don't think Dak should be yanked. But we'll see what happens. I'm sure Jerry Jones is going to get in front of a camera or a microphone. But again, a lot of great football this weekend, man. A lot of great football. We have one more game to go tonight. Baltimore plays New England. They need a win to keep pace with Pittsburgh as Pittsburgh goes into Buffalo and they get a win. And right now, Pittsburgh is in first place. So Baltimore needs a win to stay even with Pittsburgh. And then they can't even get this right. Yeah, I'm talking about my New York Jets. You have an opportunity to possibly get the top 3 pick in each round of the upcoming draft. What do? You go out there and win an overtime game against San Francisco. For what? Can you just tank? Can you do that right? You spoiled the season already. Why spoil your opportunities in the offseason by getting some good draft picks? Come on, just go ahead and lose the game, man. Just lose the game, man. I mean, unless you really want Bryce Pettit to be the quarterback next year, you're giving him the confidence. Go ahead and win. But come on, man. We need draft picks, man. Then in the season, you're probably going to get rid of a bunch of players, especially high-profile players. Yeah, go ahead and replace them with draft picks, man. You need the best of the draft right now. Anyway. That's the Jets for you. Just can't do anything right. Moving along to the association, I gotta say I'm impressed with my Knicks right now. Anytime you go out west, it doesn't matter what teams it is, man. Those West Coast teams, they usually run and put pressure on you. I gotta give credit to the Knicks, especially coming off of that debacle against Cleveland at home and the Phil Jackson saga. Yeah, I gotta give credit. The Knicks came out on this road trip. It's a 5-game road trip. As I asked for a 4-1, nothing less than 3-2. They win the first 2 games. Hey, so what? It's Sacramento and it's LA. Both teams have had some quality wins this year, especially the Lakers. But the Knicks have gone in there and handled business. Last night was a great performance by the duo of the point guards between Derrick Rose and Brandon Jennings. Rose had 25 points and like 2 or 3 assists. Jennings had 19 off the bench with 4 assists. That combination was pretty lethal. And that was very important because one thing about LA, their backcourt that comes off the bench and Clarkson and Lou Williams often give more production than Russell and Nick Young. So it was very important that Brandon Jennings did have a great game. And then there was Porzingis. 25 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, and 7 blocked shots. This guy was active around the basket. He was just putting them away, making it difficult. To the credit of the Lakers, they was going at him. But yeah, they got what they wanted because he was swatting just about everything, getting his hands on everything, man. What a performance that he put on. I couldn't ask for anything more, and it couldn't come at a better time. Didn't look like Carmelo had it last night. He finished the game with 13. Shot pretty awful. I think it was something like 5 for 15 or something like that. But Porzingis, Derrick Rose, and Jennings, they held down the fort as the Knicks pull off a 118-112 victory. Courtney Lee chipped in. He had double figures. I think he had also like 13, 14 points. So it was a pretty good win. Solid effort by Hernan Gomez coming off the bench. Man, I think he had like 12, 13 rebounds in like maybe 13 minutes. Just a tremendous effort by the Knicks. A win's a win. It don't matter if you win by 1 or you win by 30. A win's a win, especially on the road. In Los Angeles at the Staples Center, everybody's coming out. The celebs, Knicks fans is going to be there as well. It's just tremendous, man. And I like what I'm seeing. And with that win, and a loss to and with the loss of the Boston Celtics, I believe the Knicks have climbed into third place in it, a tie for third place in the Eastern Conference Finals. Man, let me repeat that. I believe they have tied the Charlotte Hornets for third place in the Eastern Conference. Man, despite it all, with the controversy that continues to surround the Knicks, despite the fact that they only returned 5 players, they brought in 5 rookies. They have 3 new starters, 2 new role players that factor into their rotation, and a new head coach. Man, the Knicks is having a pretty darn good season to the start of the season, man. I mean, what more can we ask for? As I said, they're at tied for third place at 14-10, man. I mean, with the controversy that Jeff Hornacek has to deal with the meddling of Phil Jackson, players holding meetings, Kurt Rambis, designated defensive coach. I mean, think about this, man. The Knicks are playing ball, man. What more can you ask for? They're playing ball. It's exciting. They're playing ball. Around the association, like I said, Boston lost to OKC. I didn't get a chance to check to see if Westbrook netted his 8th triple-double, but I'll find that out later. But yes, OKC did beat them. Golden State get back to their winning ways as they took on the Minnesota Timberwolves, man. Timberwolves 6-18. I don't know, man. I wish I had some answers there for you guys, man. Other than I just don't think Tibbs is the coach for that team, man. I don't think he's the right guy for that team, man. I mean, I know it's Golden State they lost to, and when you seen the calendar and you circle that date, you didn't figure they would win. But 24 games into the season, I did not expect them to be 6-18. 6-18. Nah, I didn't expect that. So, but this is what we're gonna do tomorrow. I'll probably go live. I'm going to give out my quarterly awards in the NBA. At this point, who's MVP, Rookie of the Year in my eyes, maybe Defensive Player, Most Improved Player, Coach of the Year at this point. So look out for that. And to my viewers out there, listen, man, I'd like for you to go to YouTube, watch me on YouTube. All you got to do is go to YouTube, search Troy Ramel, Ramel, Royal. You'll see all the videos. Just click on there. I need the views. Or go to my webpage on Facebook, facebook.com/Choppin It Up with Ramel. You can watch it there as well. Clicking on, view it. I need the YouTube views, man. Very important. But yeah, this is going to do it for today's show. Listen, as I always say, man, I'll see you in 24. Y'all have a great day, man. This is Chopping It Up with Ramel. No nose, straight to the throat. Peace and blessings. Chopping it up with Ramel. Chopping it up with Ramel. Chopping it up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat. Chopping it up with Ramel. Chopping it up with Ramel. Chopping it up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat.